I think we are live. Let's make sure that our YouTube is going to connect. Yes, there it is. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and let some people gather in. Hey, Marianne. Hey, Leslie, out in Mass. And Marianne's here. Give it a couple of minutes or I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the calendar. Today we are doing the tiny scripture and tiny Christmas poem treat books that the kids can do with you. Hi, Mary Lou. And it's a super quick project. We're going to be covering a lot of things in Designspace, some things that have been happening, and a couple of things that people asked me to show them in Designspace. Hi, BJ. From Oysterville, Washington. Yay! I'm in Daytona Beach, Florida. So, love the beach. Hi, Melissa. So, that's what we got going on today. Tomorrow we have another kid's card, and I'm going to do just a quick short tutorial on that. It will be recorded. I will release it sometime tomorrow. It's just going to be a couple of pieces of cardstock, a way for you to use up your scraps and let the kiddos help with the Christmas decor and things that you'll be doing in the next few months getting ready for Christmas. My Zoomers, we were going to go complete our rain card on Saturday, so I will see you guys for that one, and then we will get into next week. That will be a recorded tutorial all next week, guys. Hi, Dolores. I will not be live. I know the calendar says live next Thursday. However, my niece is getting married, and I'm leaving very early in the morning on Friday. So I have a lot of errands and stuff that I'm trying to get done and get your files and everything out to you. And just in case I don't have time to go live, I'm going to pre-record that and just go ahead and make it a recorded tutorial for next Thursday. That way I don't get stuck somewhere unable to go live and you guys are sitting around waiting on me. So next week will be recorded tutorials all week long. And the finale for the 12 Days of Christmas will be a freebie coming out on Friday. I will release it before I go, like midnight that night. So you guys will have one Thursday evening and then again on Friday or late for Thursday night. So that being said, let's see. Let's pop over to the overhead. These are what we're going to be doing tonight. They're just little, and you can write on the back of them. You can have it foiled, or you can do whatever you want and do a sentiment on the back of these. It's just a small piece of cardstock. I did this one in black with the scripture for Christmas. Luke 11 through 14 is on here. And then this one I did in red, and I did 'Twas the Night Before Christmas on it. Now you can get the Hershey Nuggets and all different colors of wrappers. We're going to be doing another red one tonight because I didn't get time to cut my blue cardstock. I was going to do something, maybe a line from Frozen or something like that. Any of your favorite Christmas movies, because you can get the nuggets in all different colors, red, blue, gold, silver. So there are tons of things that you can do, and we're going to talk about how to work with that tiny text with the new text tools in DesignSpace, because I know some of you guys are struggling with it. So we're going to address that tonight, and that's one of the reasons why I did this project, just so that we could cover some of those things. Hi, Connie. And as always, if you have any DesignSpace questions, please jump over there and ask them. So before we do the project, because this is literally going to take a minute, okay, we're going to go ahead and cover the stuff in DesignSpace. So let me pop over there. Here we are. And let's see. Let's start with, I will come back in here and find that. Let's start with a new project. And one of the things that I was asked to show is how I got the stitched lines on my Cocoa card that I shared in this one, that I shared with you guys on Freebie Friday last week. How did I do those stitched lines without having to do all of those little things and get them straight, all of that? Well, there's an easy way, but you have to maneuver it. So the first thing you're going to do is go over to your images, and in here you're going to search the word dashed. Super easy, simple, right? And there are several. You can see that I've got several saved in my favorites, and I'm just going to click them all because they are different, and I probably have some more that are dotted, things like that, and you can search dotted and get like a circle, well, just about all the shapes, really, you can get in there. But these are the dashed lines, and they're all pen. You can see that they're set for pen. And I'm going to add those to the canvas. So let's say that I was making, as soon as they get in here, so that you can see the different styles. Select them all, group, make it easy to move. And I'm just going to make it big so you guys can see them. Is that showing up for you? Let's get rid of that grid. There we go. So you've got, hey Sue, so you've got several different styles. I'm not going to swear to it. I think this is the one I used on that card for freebie. I could have used either one of, I don't think I used this one because it was too tight. I didn't like it. It was either this one or this one, and you can look in there in the layers panel, and you can check with the image info dash line. This one is the one that ends in D031, and this one ends in D029. So it was either 29 or 31 that I used. But how do you get them to line up properly? So I'm just going to make these smaller again. We don't need them to be 27 inches tall for sure. Or 20. So let's make them all smaller so we can get them on the screen here. Here we go. So let's say that my card is going to be an A2 size card or a 5x7. That, hey Christine, that is going to change how you use these lines, okay? Because it does matter. So let me just make this probably purple or yellow will show up better. Let's make one A2. So if my card was going to be 4.25 by 5.5, my panel might be, say, 4 by 5.25. So let's make that 4 by 5.25. It's going to depend, whatever size yours is, that's what you need. And then I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to change and make this one purple so that we can tell the difference. And I'm going to make this, if it was a 5x7 card, this panel might be 4.5 by 6.5. We're just saying, we're just picking a couple of sizes here. So if I bring this in and I size it to fit on the card. Let me send that to the back. That looks pretty good. You know, if you want the one that has the tighter line, you can bring that one in and definitely take a look at that. If you don't want it to be that busy, choose another line. If you want it to look even more stitched, you can do this slanted line. Okay, but you need to take a look at your card. Let's see if I can get that to move. And decide what type of line you want. That is the first thing. And I'm just going to work with the same thing that I already had, but they're all going to work the same way. So I'm happy with that line. So I know that I have one on this side too. So I'm going to duplicate it. Okay. And now I can select those two and I can align them vertically. And I'm just going to group them really quick. And that looks pretty good depending on where you want it to go on your card. You can align and center it. And if you're happy with the way that that looks, that's pretty good. But if I'm looking at my card and I know that it's 4.5 wide, I'm probably going to want this at 375. Okay, instead of 5, just bringing it in, and it's only at 4.1. So I would probably want to ungroup those and, well, if I can get a hold of it there, ungroup those, and then just space them out just a little bit more. And I want to give the same height to the card. So I would make this probably 6.25 if I'm happy with that line. Make this one 6.25. Just so that they're even. Okay, now I want to duplicate it and rotate it 90 degrees. And I want you to watch what happens here, because I need that to be the same width. And let's say that I want it to be, like I said, 4.375. So I take that line and I make it 4.375. And look at the difference in my lines. You're really going to notice it when I turn it back the other way. Now I have 2 different size dashes. How do we avoid that? Okay, to make it look cohesive all the way around the card, but getting the same size. So I'm just going to undo here. I'm going to leave that at the 6.25. And what I'm going to do is come down here to contour. And you got it. We're going to take out some of those dashes, okay? And now it's at 4.7, so I'm going to contour it again, and I'm going to take out a couple of more. And now it's at 3.966. I'm just going to add one back on there, see where we're at. And 4.347, that's pretty close. That's pretty close to the 2.5. Most people aren't going to notice that little slight difference. So now I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have all 4 lines. And what I'm going to do is bring this one, and you can see, I'm going to rotate one of them 90 just so you can see that now the dashes are the same size. I didn't change the size of them. I just took some of them out. But they are the same size as the other, okay? So that's how you're going to maneuver and get that. Now you just need to line it up. So I'm going to take this bottom one and the right one, and I'm going to select those 2, and I'm going to align to the bottom, align to the right, and we're going to group it. Okay? Then I'm going to take these 2 at the top, and I'm going to align to the left, align to the top, and group it. Then I'm going to select these 2, and we're going to align. Oops, what did I do? My align tool is not coming up. Oh, I grouped it. That's why. Oops. I didn't want to group all of them. There we go. So now I'm going to select the 2. I'm going to align to the left, align to the bottom or the top, doesn't matter. And that one didn't come down. I didn't group that one. That's okay. I'm going to group these three. And then I'm just going to take this one and we're going to align to the top, align, center it horizontally, and now it's there. Okay. And then I can ungroup these if I want to. Not necessary. I'm just going to attach them. So now I have that perfect area for my card. And you can see that maybe I should have went a little bit more narrow with it. I'm just going to bring, oops, I didn't want to change that. I'm going to just bring this in slightly. And at this point, with them all grouped together, they're going to size proportionately. So you can make this your 6.25 by your 4.25, and it's going to proportion itself out, and the lines are going to remain the same. And align, center, and then attach them to your card. Super easy and simple. Okay? So that's the way you do it. And you're going to repeat that for all of them. Once you have one done, you can size it down for your next card as long as they're the same shape. I think I have that unlocked and I left that one up there, but that's okay. You still get the point. You can size it down. Now, if you want to, if you're just definitely needing that size of a line, you have to go through the steps when you change your size. Okay? Super easy and simple. You're very welcome, Mary Lou. And like I said, it's going to be the same with all of these lines, no matter which one you pick. You have to use that contour to get that width. You can start with that one and then do the length if you want to. But once you have your basic rectangle, then you can go in and you can unlock it and you can size it to fit your shape of your rectangle. And that way all the lines will stay the same size. All right. Does anybody have any more questions on how to use the make-believe stitched lines? Okay, super, super, super. What's new in Designspace? Everybody should have 7.13 by now. If not, you might want to uninstall and reinstall so you can get it. We're going to click on what's new here. I think we covered keyboard shortcuts, the app experience, and profile background image last time. But just in case, let's just pop over here in settings. If you want to go from the live version to the beta version, you can do so simply by clicking a button, and then you can go into that. It's going to restart your application, but it will switch you back and forth without having to uninstall and reinstall. Yeah, that's my make-believe stitch lines. So this is where you can do that. That's what the app experience is. What else was new in there besides there was something else. Oh, keyboard shortcuts. Guys, there are keyboard shortcuts so that you can zoom and all that. I'm just going to tell you, I haven't memorized them yet. However, they are on the learn.cricut.com site. They are there. You can download the PDF, but I also put the PDFs, like I told you I would last week, in the group files. So if you go under the group photo and click on files, you'll find all of Cricut's cheat sheets in there. Okay? They're all there for you. And then we have the personalized profile background. If you're sharing your profile and you've set up your profile, you can come in and customize your background right here by clicking on your edit button. Okay? Super easy. Why would somebody want to go to the beta version? Good question, Dolores. If you're in this version, in the live version, and you're having an issue, and nobody else is having that issue, it may be a conflict with something on your computer. It may be that it just didn't install properly. Maybe there's some software on your computer that's just conflicting. Or there might be an actual bug in the live version that they've released. You can then go to the beta version where they may have already fixed that. And then it would not hinder your designing. Hi, Kathy Ann. Does that make sense? And sometimes some of the new stuff will pop up in the beta that they will allow all of the people in beta to have a little sneak peek at and try to use. Now, if they've released something to me that I can't share with you, then they've turned that on just for me, and then I'm not allowed to share it. And they haven't done that lately. The same thing that I have on beta right now is the same thing that you would have right now. So let's just go check it out. Let's just say that maybe my offset isn't working in the live version. Maybe there's some bug. They did an update and it's just not working. But it maybe they've worked on it and they haven't released the update yet, so I can go into beta where they've been testing that little update. And right now I do have an update and it's updating. So give me just a minute. It wouldn't let me slide it over there because it was updating. So I updated into beta right here. You can see, and it's the same version as the live version, but it says beta at the top. So any version, anything that might be wrong or might be happening in the live version that they've worked on might be fixed already in the beta, but they haven't released it for update 7.13.129 or whatever. But that's what that number is on the end. That's where they've released it. They've got a live, and if they've done any fixes, it will change that number in the beta. So sometimes your beta number will be different. Sometimes it won't. Okay? So that's all that is. Okay? That's all that it is. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to go ahead and swap back over because I don't have to uninstall and reinstall. It just has to restart. And so now it's going to swap over and bring me over to my live version. And you'll see that the beta goes away. Don't have to do all of that crazy stuff that we did before and uninstall and empty our trash and restart our computer and then bring it all back. It's just here and ready to go. Okay? Super easy. So one of the main things that I want to cover that's what's new is your bookmark for fonts. And we also have the notifications. So when somebody that you follow, if you're following my profile, where I just showed you the pink banner and all, if you're following my profile and you share one of my projects, then it shows not only that it was inspired by me or that it was an original public project, but you can it also tells me in my notifications that you shared my project, okay? So that you know when somebody's sharing your work and what they're liking. So I really love that because it helps me and tells me, hey, somebody saved that, somebody liked that, somebody shared it, and it keeps me giving you good content. So it's a good tool to have. Let's see. And if you don't want it to do that, you can go to your settings and turn that off. But the fonts bookmark, love this. Guys, when you click on your font, now you see you have Cricut, and Cricut is the default, finally. I am so happy for that. I am glad that that's finally the default. You can change your language here, and then if you want your system fonts, you can click here. Now, a couple of people have said they liked it where they could see Cricut and system together. Well, you can, but you've got to do your homework, okay? You got to do your homework, and you got to do a little bit of stuff. So if I wanted my American typewriter font to be in there, I can now bookmark that, okay? And I can go in and take them out and change it at any time if I'm no longer using that font. But this is going to kind of give you that, that is going to kind of give you that list of your most used fonts too, okay? So then I can go into Cricut and let's see, I use that one a lot too, Rustic Cherry. So I'm gonna bookmark that one. I'm gonna clear that out. So now I've bookmarked a couple of the fonts that I like, okay? I'm just gonna grab a couple more. I like this one too. and this one. So now when I come in here, if I don't like my text right here, I can come over to the font, I can come over to my bookmarks, and my most used fonts are right here. Super easy. And I have a mix. I have some of them that are Access, which you can see the green A, and then I have a couple that are my system fonts. So it's saving them all. How can you tell a system font from a Cricut font? Number one right here, see the download buttons? No download buttons. No Cricut Access A. Because you might have a licensed font. It will still have the download button. Okay? If you have one of the Cricut like Disney fonts, you will have the download button. If it's your system font, there's not going to be a download button because it's already downloaded on your system. And it's already available for use offline. This download button right here, you can download these if you want to, guys, unless you're going to be working offline. And you know that you're going to be working offline. There's no need to download it because it's not going to do anything unless you're offline. And you have to be logged into your design space when you go offline in order to use anything you've downloaded for offline. It is going to save a lot of time. A lot of people wanted them combined and didn't know how that they were saying they didn't like it. They liked them when they were combined. You can combine them right here. And the beauty about that is because like here, I don't use these fonts right here. These are on my system, but they have to be on my Apple system for some programs and things to work. Otherwise, the programs won't work. So they have to be on my system, okay? But I can't use them in Design Space. I can click that one all day long and all I'm going to get are these boxes. So now I don't have to scroll through when I'm looking in my system fonts to figure out which fonts I can and cannot use that are on my system. All of these are just, they're nothing, okay? And they just clutter up the system fonts. Now I can literally go in there and save the system fonts that I use most in my bookmarks and not have to deal and go through all of these that I know are not going to work. I don't have to sort through all of that stuff anymore. No, you do not have to download any of your Cricut fonts. None of mine are downloaded. You could see that none of these are downloaded. If I want to use AliCat, all I got to do is click on it, and it's going to change it to the AliCat font. I didn't download it. I will go in and download it just so you can see the difference. So if I'm going to work offline, you'll see that. So if you see that little check mark in the computer, it means you've downloaded it to your computer. You're still not going to be able to use it or see it unless you're in Design Space. The only thing that does is allow you to be able to use it if your internet were to go out and take you offline while you're working. That's all it's going to do. Are these updates only on the desktop? The bookmark of the fonts, I believe so. Let's take a look. I left my iPad in the other room. Uh-oh. You know, I didn't check. I know that the curved text you got last week on iOS apps. So you got curved text. That came. What else? Trying to think. And that's just telling you that your system fonts you bookmark is only going to be on the device that you've saved those to. So, but that's always been. If you have a font and you install it on your computer, you have to install it on your iPad. You have to install it on your iPhone if you're going to swap between devices. So that nothing there changed. Let's see. I believe this is maybe Marianne does. Marianne, does it? So can somebody look up the release notes and see if that? I believe it's just on the desktop. Kathy Ann. Maybe I can get it on my phone. Let's see. Let me open up my Cricut on my phone real quick so I can see if it allows it in there. Okay, I have text. And yeah, you can't, I don't see any bookmark in, I don't see any bookmark on mobile. So it is for your desktop. Thank you, Marianne. Marianne to my rescue. So that is only for your desktop. So now about tiny text. How to work with the teeny tiny text. So let me go and grab that project. There it is. All right, so you can see that that's super, super, super tiny, okay? I'm going to just duplicate that so I don't mess anything up. I'm going to unflatten that. I'm going to bring it out here. And I'm going to get rid of this grid so you guys can really see it. All right, so that's super tiny. Let me change that back to basic. Super tiny little font, okay? And if I were to ungroup it, then of course we are getting super, super tiny. And then when you get into that super, super tiny, you cannot get that letter without stretching it. That is what everybody, now I've messed it up and I pulled it in there. So you have to undo and get that to go back in. So how can you work with it when it's like that? If you wanted to ungroup it and you needed to get just one letter and just size it, you can select it in your layers panel, or you can use your shortcut keys and zoom in, or you can come down here to the bottom left of your screen and bring that up so that you can see it, and then you can select it and work on it, okay? So if I wanted to get maybe this F right here, or okay, this S, now I can click on it, but when I click on it, I don't want to click off, I just want to drag. Oh, I got the R. But that's the way you're going to have to do it, okay? And then you can work on that and size it the way that you want, okay? Those are really our only options, guys, is to just bring that up. I mean, I've never been able to. I think that this is new. I think the max we could increase before was 175. Now we can increase up to 700 on the desktop. I think 175 or 200 used to be max. But now we can zoom in up to 700 times. So that you can go in there, and if you don't like the placement of that, let me ungroup it. You don't like the placement of it for whatever reason, you can click on there. Once you click on, you can use your arrow keys and shift it out and work on it, do whatever you need. But you can select it, okay? And it's super easy. I'm just going to undo all of that. And we're going to start with a fresh text box. Because like I said, sometimes, I didn't want to do all that, but I guess I'm going to. Sometimes that box will get in your way if you're working with a small piece. So just increasing the size is going to be able to allow you to work with it. Yeah, the arrow keys. And I think a lot of it, guys, honestly, just to be honest, I think a lot of it is we are spoiled. I know I am. And I like all the things that Cricut does. But when they go to messing with my design software, Sometimes I get touchy. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it one little bit. Not at all. But then I get used to it and I'm like, oh man, I really like this new change. It just takes some getting used to. Okay? That's all it is. And there's not a software out there that anybody has, anybody does, that they're not going to have updates. If you don't update and you don't grow, you're going to get stagnant. Hey, Becky. Welcome, welcome. So you've got options. Like I said, maybe that little box is aggravating and it's kind of hard to work with, but they increased your zoom, so now you can get in there and you could really look at it. But when you're on 100% and it's regular and you bring that text in, a lot of people are saying, I can't click on it. I can't see my cursor. It may be too small. Okay, so I'm clicking off because this is on top and I want to bring it over to work on it. I'm clicking off into my canvas here. I'm going to click on it and not let go of my mouse. And now I can drag it. It's super easy and simple. It just takes a little practice. That's it. I want to edit it. Double click. It highlights it and I can just start typing. I don't have to wait and find that cursor. What if I had a typo and I wanted to fix that? I can double click in there and I can click a single time and bring it in. If you double click, it's going to highlight the whole thing. A single click is going to put it in there where you want it to be. Monogram would not open for you yesterday. We'll check that. Give me just a second. So the text, now that I'm getting used, when they first brought the box in there, I didn't like it. Not one little bit. Not at all. But I got used to it because I'm used to designing and I'm used to coming up here and unlocking things. Was it convenient being here? Yes. But when those handles, if I flip something and I flipped it, my handle flipped with it. And I could never get used to that. And I deleted so many things that I was working on because my X moved around. Okay? So that made it difficult. I love the fact that they gave us a rotate on all 4 corners. Okay? So that made it super easy. Our delete has always been here. You could go in and select anything in the file in your layers panel and delete it. You can right click and delete it. So that X being gone is not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Yes, Becky, they are new updates. There you go, Mary Lou. See, Mary Lou is learning some of the shortcuts. You can highlight by holding your shift and hit your arrow button and highlight it. Okay? And again, that cheat sheet for the keyboard shortcuts is in the group files and on learn.cricut.com. So once you learn to work with this, and if you notice that I had that flip backwards, did you see what happened when I double clicked it? It left it in the back ghosted to show me that I've got it flipped in the canvas, but I can read it correctly to make sure I don't have any typos when you've got it like that, as you can see on the screen here. It ghosted that in so that I could see it. Let me show you again and make it bigger. When I double click it, anything that I've got flipped, so that I'm not trying to read it and proofread it backwards for my spelling, I can still see that I've got it mirrored or flipped, and I can see right there if I need to correct. Okay? Not that big of a deal. That was another question somebody had in the we've got a really good post going, guys, in the group. I urge you to go read it and read the comments, because I asked people if you could get a feature that we don't currently have, what would you want? You will be amazed at some of the features we already have people don't know we have. And things that they can do. There are some things that we don't have that we want, and it's great for that. But there's a lot of tips and tricks in there that you may not know. And one of them was, I would like to have a mirror button so I don't have to go in on the Make It screen and mirror. Let's see. Let's let it get in there. And mirror every single mat. Okay? So, as it is right now, if I wanted to mirror these, I would have to come in and mirror that mat. Then I would have to remember to mirror that mat and remember to mirror that mat. If you don't want to do that, there's no need for a mirror button in here because you have one. It's called flip. And you're just going to flip it horizontal. Because me flipping that horizontal and then just sending it to Make It and then knowing that I'm going to cut that from iron on, it's already done. Okay? So you can see that it's already mirrored. Now, am I going to get it with when I come over here and I select my material and I say iron on, am I still going to get that warning message? Make sure I'm mirrored. I am. But if I know that I mirrored it on the canvas, I don't have to pay attention to that. I can ignore it. Because if I come in here and I mirror it, guess what? It's going to cut the correct way. So if I want to cut one from vinyl and one from iron-on, I can mirror it and cut once and don't mirror it and cut the other. Right, Amanda? So there is a mirror button. It just doesn't say mirror. It's a flip. All right. So we got that out of the way. What else? Somebody mentioned monograms. Christine, okay. Monogram wasn't working for you. Can you tell me a little bit about what wasn't working? Because Monogram, as you can see right here, is still in beta. They're still working on it, working out kinks. And I'm trying to scroll back and see. It would not open for you yesterday. You restored it twice and came up. What I would do is I would probably uninstall DesignSpace and just reinstall. It sounds like maybe the update didn't fully install for you. And that might be able to fix it. Or switch over. What I would do first is if you're in the live version, Christine, after doing it twice it did. What you can do there, that's a perfect example of when you might want to switch from live to beta. If it's not going to open up in live, maybe there's a kink going on there, switch over to beta and see if it works. And then if it doesn't, then you can switch back and uninstall or restart, whatever. But you do have an option to switch over and see if that fixes it. Okay, and that could be the issue. If you're on beta, that could be what it is. If you switch over to the live version, it might fix it. Hi, Norma. Yay, glad you're here. So there are tons of things and tons of ways to work around any issues that you might be having. I mean, it's very rare that I find that there's not a workaround that we can achieve what we want to achieve with our project. It may not be ideal, but there's usually always a way. Usually always. Does anybody have any other questions on DesignSpace? All right. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask it. We're just going to go over and pop one of these cute little kids crafts together so that you can let your kids help you out with this. They are super cute and easy. And I think I got I did 14 on one print and cut. And I printed these on copy paper. So not a big deal. And then these are just scraps of black and red. And I didn't get my blue cut. I had a good sized scrap of navy blue that I wanted to do with some of the blue nuggets, like a frozen thing. And I didn't get that cut. So we're going to do another night before Christmas. Do you guys want me to show you how I did the 2 different text boxes to get that? Or do you think you have it? all I did was basically I put all 6 verses in and sized it, and I cut out the other 3, and then I sized it to fit on 1/2 and duplicated it. And then I highlighted it and pasted the other 3 verses over that duplicate so that they were the exact same size. Okay, super easy. Let me show you real quick, because if you're doing your own, like say you're getting some lines from Frozen or something, you might need to know how. So let's pop back over there before we put this together and let me show you. I don't want to mess that one up, so I'm going to come in here and get this. I'm going to make this one big so you can see instead of doing that. And I'm going to detach. And I'm going to unflatten. I'm going to change my canvas so you guys can see what we're doing here. So here I have, and I have it grouped, so I'm going to ungroup it because I have 2 different text boxes here. Okay, and what I did is I had all of my, there we go, had all of my text in one little box here, okay? And I knew that it wasn't going to fit. So while I had that in there, I just came in and highlighted and dragged and selected my other 3 verses and took them out. Okay, and that left all of that space. Now when you're in there and you have all of this space, if you start doing this, you can see that it's going to bump that box down. If you've got a big space in there you can't get rid of, you've got some spaces down below. So I'm using my arrow keys to get rid of those extra spaces. And you can see some coming in at the top. We're just going to bring that down and size it. So once you get rid of those extra spaces, you can do that. Just take them out. And then I brought it over to this side. We're going to pretend that that's not there. So I brought this over and I sized it in like I wanted it to fit on the paper. And then I I went over to the layers panel and duplicate it. You don't want to Command C because you'll lose your other text, okay? So just duplicate it right up here, and then you're going to double click it, and then when that's highlighted, you're going to Command V or Control V and paste in your other lines. Okay, again, if you've got those extra spaces down there using your arrow key, my cursor's not moving, so I don't have one there. My cursor's not moving there, so I don't have one there. I'm not resizing that box because I want my text to stay the same size. Okay? Super easy and simple. Once you have them placed on that paper like you want them, you're going to select the 2, and I like to align these to the top, or you can align them. It's going to depend on the poem that you use or whatever you use. You might want to align to the top. You may want to center it horizontally or vertically, but you can pick all of that how you want it distributed. And I'm just going to say center it vertically and then group it. And now I have all of that grouped. I'm going to, your score line should not be attached, and mine is not. So I'm going to select my text and my little paper. We're going to line center and flatten. So that way our letters won't cut out of everything because I flattened it to a square. I have one single layer on my flatten. Then I can select my score line and that. We can align center and arrange. Move this to the back so our score line's on top, and attach. Awesome. They were on sale last week during Prime, and the bundles for $39 at Cricut too. And your access will save you. So watch those sales. Make sure you check your Cricut prices before you go outside. Sometimes you'll get a better deal. So super easy to do that. And if anybody gets stuck doing this, just let me know. I'm happy to help you, okay? It just, like I said, playing with that new text box is just going to take some getting used to. But once you get used to it, it's really smooth, guys. It's so smooth and easy. And like I said, all you have to do is just, if you can't see it or can't grab it, use that zoom. We can go up to 700% now. So you can get in there and you can see it, okay? As tiny as that is. And you can line everything up and get it the way that you want it. You can zoom. This is at 300%. So, I mean, and they're very tiny. Okay, they are not even 2 inches by 1.25. So they are just super, super, super small. Oh, Christine, I hate that. They had the Joy bundles during that 48-hour event. The Joy bundles were $119 before your access discount. That was awesome. So I'm not going to save that. We're going to pop overhead and put one together. All right, so I've got my little piece of cardstock, and again, you can have your Cricut right on there, and then you'll put that writing to the back or have it foiled. You can make it look like a cute little book with some foiling on there to and from. I didn't do that on these, but you can. Super easy. And then you're going to need some twine or ribbon, thin ribbon, whatever you want. And I'm using adhesive dots. That's usually what I use when I do candies. And you're just going to peel those off and stick them to the back of your candies. Okay, that's super easy. You need 2 of those for the back of your candies. Once you have those, you're going to need just, and the smallest of scraps is all you need on your twine. And you're just going to let them lay that down just about center. Get a small piece of Scotch tape and tape that down. Just like that. That's all there is to it. Then they're going to peel off a little liner for that, and you're going to bring that in just inside of your little piece of paper here. You're going to peel the other one off, and they have static on them. They stick to me. And then you're going to stick this one right on there too. Get that lined up. Side by side. That's it. You're going to take your little piece of paper, your teeny tiny poem, and fold it on its score. You don't really even have to score these if you're good at folding. You can skip the scoring step and take it off of there, but it will help guide the kids. And then open it back up. I've got that release liner still coming to me. And then I use a tape runner for this, guys. Super easy. And just run a couple of lines on there. And then with it pinched in half, just going to kind of tuck it right down, not too far, but right down in between the 2 candies. Okay? Not very far at all. And just kind of pinch the candies together and let it grab it. And then just open it up. Like so. Then I do use a little bit of wet glue here. And I just take my little art glitter with my fine tip and run just a teeny tiny bit of glue right down the center and pull that twine right over it and give it a little tuck. Hold it for a second and it will stick right there, and then trim it off. And you're done. How easy is that? Ooh, you're going to love your lamp, Mary Lou. You're going to love it. Guys, don't forget to shop those links down below the videos, or either look in the group files in the featured pin post and get your group codes and use those links, please. Yes, these would be great favors for your book club meeting, Norma. You could do whatever book you're reading. You could just take a little line. You could do the title on it maybe, or make it look, you know, similar. I mean, they're just super easy, fun, and cute. The kids can do these. They're just so super simple. But they give they pack a little punch, you know. Great for your little Sunday school classes. This is not new. These have been around forever. What candies? These are Hershey Nuggets. I don't know who that is in New Zealand, but they're Hershey Nuggets. These are the truffle ones, but they have regular ones. They have ones that are wrapped in blue, some red, some silvers, some golds. I think the one with almonds are gold, but it's a Hershey's candy. I did print and cut that on copy paper. It's scraps of cardstock and copy paper. These are all copy paper. I cut it on copy paper, just like with my just normal Cricut settings. But they're all done on copy paper. Use your blue mat if you're doing copy paper. Makes it super easy. Oh, how cute. She's a lot. That would be so fun to put her a little thing of these on her desk with different books. That would be super cute. It's a shame to, but they're really not. They're just getting rid of a couple of pieces of cardstock. That's it. So, but it's super fun and easy. And the kids love it when they can join in and make something like that, because they can relate. They know what a book is, you know? So it's really fun for them. Yeah, those would be so cute, Norma. You're welcome, Becky. Oh, put on top of a bookmark. That would be cute too. If you did like one of the acrylics, if you cut some of the acrylics and did those. Or even wood ones, the basswood, that would be cute too. Yay, Norma, I'm glad. Well, you guys don't go anywhere. Like I said, next week is going to be a short recorded tutorial only, but we will get back on our regular schedule in August. We're going to be doing all your tutorial Thursdays. Okay? Like I said, Christine, this isn't new. This is probably, I don't know, 15 years old, but I saw it on Pinterest and I was like, oh, it's been forever since we did those. I don't know, 10 years, 15 years? Something like that. I remember giving them out at church. We used to punch these, though, but this was before we all got into our Cricuts. We used to use punches. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Make sure you're checking out those featured posts. Oh, one more thing. I know that I told you guys to watch for the giveaway this month, but there have been a lot of changes with the Cricut shop and all of that kind of stuff. And they are working on it. They had to make some changes in the way that we get the stuff so that we can do our giveaways. And so when they made those changes, it kind of delayed everything. The giveaway will be coming, and it's going to be worth your while. I promise. You're going to love it. So even though there's not going to be one this month, there is going to be a very nice giveaway coming. So make sure you stay tuned. You are going to love it. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, you're ordering them on your Target app. Get some of all the colors, Kathy Ann, because you're going to want them, like the blues for Frozen, the reds for maybe your Christmas books, the silvers for your little Bibles if you're doing Bible classes, and then they have the golds. So get all different ones. Yes, Becky, please do. We gave a lot of information at the beginning on all of our Design Space updates. I don't want you to miss anything. I'm not sure who that is on Facebook. Thanks, Awesome April. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. Guys, please give a thumbs up and a like. I think I need 15 subscribers to hit 35,000 on YouTube. That's it. 15 subscribers to hit 35,000. So please subscribe, like, share, and if you're watching this after the live, please leave a comment down below so that they show my videos more. Please. Yes, the Cricut did cut the little red cardstock pieces. These pieces, the Cricut did cut those. And I cut these from scraps. I didn't even have full-size sheets. I just cut scraps. So save all of those little scraps that you have. You can eventually use them. You may just want to make one or two really quick, or you may have a long thin piece where you can make several. You can even use pattern cardstock, guys. How cute would that be? Your pattern cardstocks. Yes, you could do little leather ones with your little leather scraps. Sure can. Lots of fun. You might want to put a piece of cardstock under it if you're doing the leather, Christine, so it won't be floppy, because that's what's going to give it keep it from flopping back and forth. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I enjoyed it. This was a fun live. I am glad you guys had fun with it. But you guys enjoy, and I will catch you on, well, the rest of them. I'm going to have a Zoom with my Zoomers this weekend, but then everything else this month will be recorded. Everything else this month will be recorded. Happy crafting!